What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Gamer Guide channel. I am Rollin, and today we're looking at the Rollin account, looking at two of my new Electromantis that I'm releasing to the CRF. This is my newest creation, the Electromantis C1750. It uses those new flak sentinels, the little half flaks, 3 of the big devastators and 2 of the constructor nanos, and then covers the entire thing in the what used to be called a mega electroplates, but the toughest electroplates for sure. Real slick machine, something I've been working on for a while, and I've tested this out before today using the little shotguns. Ion disruptors they're called, and this thing performs really well at overclock 4 goes over 200 miles an hour, and I put thrusters in the right spot so it can turn really quickly and be one of the fastest vehicles out there with super toughness. So I'm really super excited to bring this to you. We also had some new patch notes come out for us today, and some big changes in the game, so I'll be talking a little bit about those while I show you some of my new creations. And then I also had the Electromantis 7 completely revamped for today's gameplay. Before, it had a lot of blocks and things that could be improved, so I went back in, added aero rods, I put plasma on the front, 2 different kinds of healing. I put a blink module in it too instead of a pilot seat, and toughened it up. This thing is fantastic. Really been enjoying playing this one, actually, and I'm not really sure which one of these Electromantis I like more now, but they are both on the shop. If you have 1410 CPU, this one will be a little bit cheaper. You'll be able to see it. Otherwise, you gotta be at 1750 CPU for the other one. You'll see right next to that little window I have Prototype 47. That's back when this original Electromantis had the shotguns on it. Here's some of the changes we could talk about. They improved SMGs a lot. There's not as much shake, they're more accurate, they do more damage. In fact, they're kind of buffed across the entire spectrum. The biggest SMGs got a 16% buff overall, and then the disintegrators got a 65% buff, 118% buff on the vaporizers. Blasters got 150. Hornets got 166 and 169 for the Wasps. So really nice overall. They became more accurate. They just kind of optimized it to be a little bit more fun to play with, and they certainly do seem to be a lot better. In this, they also, of course, added the new weapon. They've changed CPU to power a little bit too. So now if you are a 500 CPU, you'll have 25% less power than before. If you get up to 1125 CPU, you'll have the same power as before, and then when you get up to 1750, you have 25% more power. Your power will still regenerate just as quick as it used to in 10 seconds, so it just means that you get a little bit more power a little bit quicker when you're at 1750. And I did notice a difference when playing the Electromantis, especially with the plasmas and healing beams being a lot more effective, because you can actually sustain the fire for longer, which makes it really interesting, and makes my 2 Electromantis even a little bit more powerful, I think, since they are more of a support class than a frontline battle cruiser. They also released a change to the game which changes the way damage works and destroys robots. So if a part has 25% damage, even if it's not knocked off and it's 25% of your vehicle, you'll explode even if the part is not completely destroyed off your robot. So that's a little bit different. People said that, you know, if you are a part-intensive robot, you're not going to have as much of an advantage using these huge parts as before. So that should be interesting. So electroplates and stuff like that should actually play more of a role of protecting robots. And so that's why this is kind of an especially good time to kind of be introducing these Electromantis back into the game, as they're a lot of fun to play, and they're totally coated in electroplates. And as you can see here, the new blink module really will help save you in situations where someone's found you. And then the electroplates keep everything protected as you fly around at 200 miles an hour, so it works out really sweetly. Let's look at some of the other changes too. They say all game modes are now unlocked at player level 5, so I'm not sure if that also includes League or not, but that is a game mode, so you might be able to get in a little bit sooner now. Front-facing lasers have got a little love, and they now have a full 180-degree turning arc, so that's supposed to help a little bit. Hitbox should be the same though, so they still might be hard to place on a vehicle. They improved the camera relative to controls for the hover, so if they're upside down, they won't be jittering all around. They'll still be able to fly pretty stably, so that is a nice little improvement there. They also lowered the maximum weapon count on the SMGs, so now it takes less to get your maximum fire rate. So if you haven't been playing with lasers for a while, I definitely say give them a try, as they should be really good. But the plasma, I think, is still going to be king as far as its quick loadout of damage. but the Laser Leviathan got a whole 100% improvement. I've heard from people on the forums, though, that it isn't quite as good. Now, there's also been a couple of bugs that were introduced in this patch. Some of those are going to be fixed up tomorrow, though. One of them is that the overclocking in new games, this game is actually recorded before the patch, but the next one I show you is recorded in it. But overclocking currently is not working correctly, so you do not get a speed enhance right now when you have your overclock on. But by the time you see this video, if it is the 1st of July, most likely that has been fixed. At least that's what they're planning on doing. It's also been reported on the forums that the mech legs electroplates are not currently working right. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it sounds like if you're playing your mechs and stuff like that, just be aware that the electroplates may not be absorbing the damage like they should be. So keep that in mind too. Probably something they're going to fix or at least address in the future as well. But that wraps up the patch notes, guys. If you would, if you're new here to the channel, please subscribe, as I do lots of Robocraft and similar style videos, including the Galactic Junk League game, which is a lot like Robocraft. If you haven't checked that out, definitely do that. I'd also greatly appreciate it if you would thumbs up this video and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the new Flak Sentinel weapon and some of the other bug fixes and whatnot. Even though we did get some new bugs, I'm sure they will be worked out here eventually. And the dynamic has definitely changed, so again, I definitely recommend trying out the SMGs again. If you have some Devastators or anything like that, put them on your favorite vehicle type. Tanks might be a good way to go till the mech legs get fixed, and then hovercrafts, of course, too. And then you can always check out one of the Electromantis, as they've been great. Like I said, I played quite a few games, and I haven't died yet in any of my test games yet, but I've been playing a support role instead of a frontline unit, so maybe it's more to be expected. But let me tell you a little bit more about the new Electromantis and what is under the hood on this thing. I put in 10 hover blades on this. Originally I had 12 hover blades, but with the reduced weight on the half-flaks or Flak Sentinel, they don't really need the full 12, so I removed 2 and I did a little bit more armoring on the side, which is good actually, because the shotguns I had when this thing was a prototype were able to be mounted on top, where the Aeroflak Sentinels are not able to be mounted on top. The hitbox collides with the way that I've put on these electroplates. Now if you had the electroplates face the other way, it might work, but I actually think this looks pretty cool with them mounted on the side. And I put a little arrow rods connecting the 2 Flak Sentinels to the main part of the body, so the outer cubes just kind of help with decoration and armoring up in case you do take a side shot. It does lean a little bit on one side if you get one of your 2 Flak Sentinels blown off, but it's not so much where you're going to tip over. And you can lower your vehicle down to the ground and maintain your 200 plus miles an hour movement speed. Now keep in mind, this game that I'm playing right now, this is the day that the overclocking was bugged, so everybody's moving at overclock 1, even though I show 12 right now. So at overclock 1, you'll be able to go up to about 185 miles an hour. Overclock 4 will be way over, I think it's about 210. And then this thing gets up to like 240 or 235 miles per hour, the max speed basically for hovers. So I like it a lot. I put everything inside kind of smartly. I used a lot of arrow rods to kind of loop some of the components. So if you get the top blown off, you still maintain the front and back side. Because a lot of times people will try to place shots right in the middle of your vehicle to kind of destroy everything. But I put a lot of arrow rodding on the bottom just to kind of hold everything together in case you do get a hole somewhere on the vehicle. There is a radar on top of this thing, as you see, and then also on the bottom there is a radar jammer. So you can be pretty stealthy and sneaky, and you know, if you're moving around really fast and you're healing people and then raining down hell with some of the plasmas, they're not going to have a whole lot of time to shoot your electroplates anyway, but you do have all that extra health on the electroplates. But I recommend don't be a still target. The flaks, I've noticed, if you're flying around, sometimes they're inaccurate. If you're stationary, they are accurate. If you start firing and then you move, they're also pretty accurate. So I think it kind of depends on when you start a volley of flak, but it has been helpful, especially in situations where you're a little closer to the enemy too with these half-flaks. Works out really nice, or if you're stationary and you're just trying to play support at a distance. But anyway, this is the first vehicle I've made that uses 2 of those Flak Sentinels, or flak of any kind, and is still able to maintain maximum speed very early on. And at mark or overclock number 4, you're being able to get up to top speed. So it's really nice. And as you see, it's optimal too. You can pick people off with the flak. Another thing they had changed in the game here that I didn't mention earlier is they did reduce the area of explosion on the flaks by about 15%, and they also raised the minimum height you have to be at to get the flaks to explode. So you might think that's a bad thing, but actually it's going to help you a lot as a hovercraft, as those will not explode on your vehicle as easily anymore. And then also, if you are a mech and you use the Titan legs, the flak won't explode on the top of your robot just by standing up. So you don't have to crouch anymore when you're playing mech leg. I did read on the forums, though, that mech legs might have a healing bug, too, where they're not fully regenerating after the shield comes back. So keep that in mind if you're playing those. But I've been really super happy here with what this turned out to be, and I think you guys are going to like it a lot. You can find it on the shop under the Rollin account on both these, under the Electromantis name. But I'd probably just put in my name, Rollin, W-R-A-U-L-I-N, and just see what I got up there. So they'll both be there. Now keep in mind, you have to be at the CPU that I'm at, so 1750 on the Electromantis 1750 or 1410 on the Electromantis 7 to be able to see them. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for all the support. I hope you guys are enjoying the game still. And we will have some changes tomorrow, so if you did notice that your overclock and stuff is not working correctly, they're working on a speedy patch to get everything fixed up for the 1st of July. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for all the support. Again, thumbs up this video if you have not already, and I'll see you back here again real soon for some more Robocraft, Crossout, and probably some more Galactic Junk League too, as I really had a fun time in that. I'll see you guys next time. Later.